although Vegas has never seen a neutral market. It's a pendulum swinging, and so it's very intense. So we'll go from an extreme seller's market, we'll hit a neutral market for a blip second, and then we go into a strong buyer's market.
Okay.
And we're so intense that pendulum will sit there for a while before it comes back.
Yeah.
So just visually think that. So we actually had a 92% increase in inventory since January 1st, 2018. 70% of that was in the last quarter. So the majority of the activity is we have homes on the market that are sitting there. Buyers are now taking their time. When buyers know that there's more inventory, when buyers know that there's less competition, buyers take their time to shop. There's no rush, there's no sense of urgency. The only real urgency that a buyer has right now is that interest rates could go up. The argument I get with the buyers is, well, yeah, the Fed said they weren't going to raise interest rates. The Fed said last quarter they weren't going to raise interest rates again. I said, yeah, they lied. They raised them on December 17th by an eighth of a point. Hypothetically think, every time interest rates go up by 1%, by 1 point, so from 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, on average, that is a 10% increase of a borrower's 30-year fixed mortgage. So if they financed $200,000, it would be $220 over 30 years for every point that it goes up. On average. Now, then you're going to put into how much they put down, did they buy it? Doesn't matter. When you're dealing with a buyer and interest rates go up by 1 point, it's a 10% increase of their loan amount. Okay? So when somebody says, well, I'm just going to wait because home prices are so high, I say, well, that's fantastic. So you're just going to buy a home and sell it right after you close on it? Well, no, we're going to live in it forever. Oh, okay. Because the only time a purchase price would matter, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, is when you sell. That's the only time they matter. You're going to buy a home, live in it for 3 to 5 years. It only matters when you sell. We had a situation where Deanna and I went on a listing appointment. It was actually the longest listing appointment I've ever been on.
Yeah, right. You said there were
5
2
hours. Well, there, but then I spent another 3 with you.
Oh, yeah.
I think the people at Starbucks were like, dude, like we closed an hour ago. When are you leaving? We met with her clients, and they actually bought the home in 2006 at the absolute height of the market for $490,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
97.
97,000.
497.
Yeah. They rode the market. They stayed in the home. They refinanced it in 2011, and records showed that they pulled out on average of $100,000. Correct? Deanna?
I'm sorry, I blanked out on that.
No,
you
you're,
said
how many phones is she stealing? They took out what, $100,000
Yes.
in 2011?
Yes.
Okay, and so now the home is worth roughly $500,000 again.
Yes.
They have a larger lot for the community. They have a pool. They've done some interior upgrades. They have a sunroom and things like that, to where they can get the most amount of money for that home.
Yes.
We met with them, and the objection handler that we were dealt with was, I put $100,000 into this home. Even if I sell it now, I'm upside down. And I said, well, it's interesting that you say that, and I don't think I actually brought up the $100,000.
No.
Because I didn't need to. But what I did bring up is I said, listen, you bought that home in 2006, somewhere between 7 and 8% interest. We're only 4.3% below. If you look at this graph here, 3.9%, okay? Second page bottom, we're only I think I told him 4.3% below the market cap in 2006. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I don't get the opportunity to meet people like you who have actually bought a home at the most expensive price, ridden the wave, seen the market crash, and then stayed in the home so long that it came back up. So it's such a pleasure to be amongst royalty. I hope you gamble on the casino floor. And he laughed. He thought that was kind of funny. And the conversation I had with him at that point was, hey, listen, you have to sell now. unless you're gonna ride the next swing. You gotta sell. Like, you gambled, you won, you gotta get out. He said, well, I'm gonna lose money. I said, well, I'm not sure you're gonna lose money, because I believe your home is worth $500,000 today, with the upgrades and all of that stuff. Even though it's a 3,000 square foot home, has only 3 bedrooms, you've got all of these improvements. And you can go and buy something out of state with an interest rate 2 to 2.5 points lower than you bought this home. And the market's shifting. So he didn't necessarily agree with me. He was like, well, I'm not sure that that's true, until I pulled the graphs out. And once I pulled the graphs out, and I said, well, you know what? My opinion doesn't matter. My job in real estate is to interpret the market. That's all my job is. My opinion is irrelevant. So I said, let's just look at the graphs. And I said, Mr. Seller, if you look at the median purchase price, we're up 11.1% over last month. So December 2017, the average purchase price was $246,700. We dipped down in January, we all do, it's called seasonality, and then we had this nice little spike. We rode the wave for pretty much a year, and now in November, we're starting to see a little discomfort in the market. So we've gone down, we've gone up, we've gone down. Now look at the one below, it says the median price, and now you see this bell curve. So I said, Mr. Seller, you're way up here. And actually, you increased in value by just a little bit. And then it tanked. You stayed in the home. 2011, I didn't tell him this, thinking 2011, you took money out. You refinanced at a lower interest rate. So you won. You probably refinanced for high 2s, low 3s. I'm gonna guess. Also, what I didn't tell him, which we know, is you took that money and you bought 2 more properties while the market was low. And you've now sold those properties while the market was high, because you told me that. And now your primary residence is 3.9% below the market cap. If you're not a betting man, you probably should have sold here where it said, you know, the Hyatt, which was June, July, August of 2018. That's probably where you should have sold.
And that's when the wife sold the house.
That's where she sold the other 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're seeing the market slide. So if you are a betting man and you want to get out while the going's good, the clock is ticking. Oh, and by the way, you already took $100,000 out. So if you think you're losing money, you stayed in a home, you
Got another property.
you got 2 more properties.
2 more properties.
You sold those properties.
And
You rode the market, you took $100,000 out, and now you're able to put it back on the market and sell it for what you originally paid for it anyways.
that's a win. That's a major win.
That's the conversation. And that's when we started to have a good conversation. When I said, no, my job is just to show you the numbers. And the wife's looking at them, and she's like, well, I used to be in real estate, and there was no objection, right? They could not argue, even though he wanted to. He couldn't argue with us. Market says, hey, if you only go by based off what's in writing, 18 months, the market tanked in 18 months. So let's assume we're back in that market. 18 months from now, Mr. Seller, you're not gonna have a home worth $400,000. So then I showed him the purchase prices, the median prices. And I said, all right, let's just take the facts, 2018, 17, 16, and 15. In 2015, the median purchase price in January was roughly $180,000. In 2016, it jumped up to just below $200,000. In 2017, it was about $216,000. And then in 2018, it jumped up to 245-ish thousand. Huge jump between year over year, between 2017 and 2018. So Mr. Seller, now let's look at the units sold. You've got a tract home just like everybody else. In fact, you've got this monstrosity of a house, and you only have 3 bedrooms. Not very sexy for the majority of the buyers who are going to buy in your neighborhood. So now let's look at the units sold. In 2015, roughly 2,400 units in January. In 2016, not much more in January. but in 2017 it spiked. What happened in February of 2018? Does anybody remember? Interest rates went up. February 2018, interest rates went up. And what did we see happen here? Buyer frenzy. Units sold went up. Because in Vegas, normally, the buying market starts in March, April. Okay? People get their taxes in February,
Yeah.
and then they start thinking about buying. It's about a 45-day mental strategy, and then they start actually putting offers in. But when interest rates went up in 2018, we saw an influx. Now what happened December 17th of 2018? Interest rates went up in December. So the week after Christmas, we saw this little spike of activity. People are starting to say, well, I might be interested. A lot of them have to sell their home before they buy. A lot of them. What we call a contingency. But people who are going to buy something, they put their buyer hat on first. And selling their home is just it's a result. I have to sell that. But what's now different in our market today, and we can see it here, what's now different when it comes to a buyer who has to sell a home? Brandon can tell us.
Yeah.
What was that question?
Give me the watch
It's in my
too.
phone, I got this in the text.
Now she's gonna take your watch.
Yep. You should take his watch away.
What happens, what's happening right now in our market with the seller who needs to sell in order for them to buy? What's the issues?
The home's not selling,
Why?
because there's inventory that keeps going up every year. There's not enough buyers in the market.
So how do we overcome that?
Price aggressively.
Okay,
Market
so
aggressively.
pricing. What else? If you've got a buyer and they said, I wanna buy this home, and they need to list and sell their home, what is your strategy gonna be to outperform this market?
Find them a home first.
Say that again?
The problem is they can't find a buyer, finding a buyer.
Easier said than done. I don't think
Adjust
there's
the
a
price?
shortage of buyers out there. I think there's a shortage of buyers who want to act today.
Which could be interpreted as a shortage of buyers.
Motivation.
Because everybody's a buyer.
Yeah, motivation.
I'm a buyer, I just am not buying right now.
Yeah, motivation.
And adjust the price of the home.
So price, yeah, price accurately, okay? I think that's the most important thing. But here's the scenario that I want you guys to work through, because this is actually what's gonna happen for the next 6 to 8 weeks. You get a lead into your database, and they're a buyer. And they said, I wanna buy,
Yep.
and I'm pre-approved, and it's contingent on me selling my home. What are you going to do, and what are you going to do differently so that you can help them buy a home and sell their home? I need pens. Can you grab pens for me? What are you going to do? Because make no mistake, if you can walk out of this room today with that clear plan of action, you are ahead of 95% of all of the other agents out there.
Well, do you have?
They don't even realize that we have 90% more inventory than we did last year. They don't even know that. They're like, oh, I took another listing today. Yeah, you can go take 20 listings today. Doesn't mean they're gonna sell.
Actually, more than that. We're more than double where we were last year.
He's kind of tense, but thanks. Oh, no. A worker would have been.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm the one that wasn't clear. So, let's talk about that. You've got a buyer, says I wanna buy a $500,000 home. They're excited, they're ready, they're pre-approved, contingent on them selling their home. what is your strategy?
Sell their home.
Of course,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
Well, find potential buyers out of your database that are looking for a similar price range house with similar square footage.
So that's just utilizing your resources.
Well, you're gonna kill that marker.
Is it a problem? Is it your favorite marker?
Manager.
So they go out, you take them out. They said, hey, we wanna sell our home, we wanna buy a home. So let me take you through the steps to get you to the actual problem place. You do a listing presentation, it all makes sense, they're gonna price it right, okay, they're gonna price it at market. You get the photography done, all that stuff, and in 72 hours, you will be able to put the listing on the market. But in the meantime, they call you up and they say, hey, we wanna go out and look at these 3 homes.
Okay.
You say, okay, fantastic. We wouldn't be able to write an offer and have it accepted until we have your listing on the market. So let's just go out and let's have a look, okay?
Or their contract too, right?
As a listing agent, I'm not gonna look at their offer that's contingent on them selling until at least their listing's on the market. I'm gonna look at them like, get it on the market and come back and talk to me. Because I know that right now, as a seller, if I go under contract and it falls out, based on the numbers here, I'm losing. Okay? I have to compete, I have to have seasonality of my listing, it has to be on the market a certain amount of time to compete with all the rest of those listings. So I'm not gonna be so quick to take it off the market. So I want a ready, willing, and able buyer.
I would imagine you'd wait till it was under contract.
Yeah,
I
so
could,
right.
I could, and we're gonna talk about that part, because that's part of the issue here. So, I go out and I show them some homes, and they're really excited, and they're like, yes, we wanna write offers on 2 of these homes. You say, fantastic, great. You're pre-approved, contingent on you selling this home, so we need to work really hard and get your home on the market. What can I do as a real estate agent to give them the highest opportunity to go under contract on their buy and sell their home?
Give them another offer. Investor offer maybe?
Okay, so
Worst
now,
case
okay,
scenario.
so fine, let's focus on the listing now. And their listing is gonna be at $400,000, which is market. They're right there in the middle of the market. Okay, so you're saying, bring them an investor offer?
Well, I mean, yeah, just to begin, start with something in their back pocket.
Why would we wanna do that?
Because if their home, well, for instance, if the home they're buying has other people that are looking at it, I mean, they'd lose money on the investor offer, but it would be an opportunity to get them out of the home, sell it, get the money in their pocket so they could get into the new home.
So,
And it's a worst case scenario, it's a back pocket, it's something you can put in your back pocket, you know, hold on to.
okay, we'll come back to you on it, yeah?
The investor's gonna probably be the lowest offer.
Yeah.
And then if you can kind of gauge their reaction based on what that offer is, and then likely, they could just take the investor offer, or you can kind of manage their expectations as to what the actual number is that you're gonna have to bring to them from a non-investor to close the deal.
Okay, so that's what I was looking for, because will sellers tell you what they think you wanna hear? Of course, they will. And can I present an obstacle where I can test their motivation? I wanna sell it the most amount of money, and I wanna buy it the lowest. Okay, how much do you really wanna buy these 2 homes? Because if I go with and then we can break it down into types of investor. So if I have an open door offer brought to you, that open door says, hey, we're gonna sell it, we're gonna buy your home at $350,000. And then, of course, open door is gonna come in and do an inspection, and they're gonna go, oh, okay, well, actually, another 20, so we'll net you 320. A offer pad might come in and say, hey, we'll net you 330. Brandon's investor might come in and say, hey, we'll do 360. Because they're gonna do a refresh, they're gonna sell it in the summer when the market's higher. Now we have an investor who's putting an offer in front of them, where they actually start having, they now have to start thinking
It's like
about,
kicking them in the butt a little bit.
well,
Forcing
Light
them
the
to do the
fire.
math.
so here's the thing with sellers. The anatomy of a seller is, I used to be a buyer, and I bought based off of my emotion. I'm the seller, and my home's worth more than it is, and I'm selling based off of, I'm an investor mindset. But they're not really. So what we have to do is we have to get them from pain to pleasure, or pleasure to pain in the seller sense, and say, listen, you can't buy this home until you sell. So what's more important, selling it, getting out from underneath it, preserving the interest rate that you're gonna get, preserving the lack of competition on the buy side, which probably is going to save you some money, and then losing that on the sell side? Or is it really important for you to get $400,000 off of your listing and buy the purchase at the lowest price? Because rarely is a buyer gonna be able to have both, rarely. So where your strength's gonna be in this market right now is to really compartmentalize and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here's where you're at. You're competing with a lot of inventory. Buyers, even though it's not a buyer's market, buyers are gonna take their time and look around and compare your homes to these other homes. That's what they're gonna do. So you have an option. You could price it right and engage people to come into your home, look at every serious offer, or you could throw it on the market, see the activity, but until you find a home that you really wanna buy, leave the listing. Now, most agents are gonna do the latter. They're gonna say, let's put it on the market at full price and let's leave it alone. And let's go find you a home. Because until we find you a home, we don't have to do anything about your listing. What's the problem with doing it that way?
Too much lag time in between.
Okay, give me something I can sink my teeth into.
Okay.
Remember, you're the fiduciary. You're now the negotiator. You're the strategizer. That's what you're getting paid for as an agent nowadays.
You're not working on it at all. Like, well, you're working on, like, the potential, but of something that they want, but you're still gonna be in the same place once they start trying to buy the house. You're not gonna have that off the table to move to the next.
What's happened month over month according to the chart?
Inventory's growing,
Great.
you can't expect to sell a house.
And demand is decreasing.
Yeah.
Right. So it might not
It's
sell.
gonna be hard, it's gonna be
It's
hard
gonna
to
be hard
sell
for
a
them
home.
to sell these.
Yeah, he'll be here more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The later you wait, the
Because
harder.
when
it
do
is.
most people put their homes on the market? So if we do nothing else but go by the charts that are in front of you,
Right.
listings taken, so, yeah, so listings, look at, doesn't give me a month over month, but that's okay. Let's do it based on the solds.
Yeah.
So units sold, go to bottom of page 3 of 3.
Right.
When do we sell the most amount of homes? Between January,
June.
between January and April?
Yeah. Oh, March, spring.
And is it safe to say that in 4 years, that has always been our highest spike regardless of the market?
Looks like it, yep.
So if I do nothing else, let's leave the buyer over here, and I go back and I counsel my seller, and I say, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're pricing your property at market, and that's awesome, thank you for being a realistic seller. But here's the problem we have. You have to stay in front of the market. You have to price it right, you have to strategize, you have to adjust as the market sees fit. Because if you do nothing and we let it sit there, and we only focus on you finding a home first, people are gonna put their homes on the market faster, they're gonna put it on the market more competitively, and the buyers are gonna put offers and close on those homes before yourself. So here's what I'd like to do, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. I want to do an amazing amount of marketing. I want to get 1 to 2 showings a week and an offer within the first 3 weeks. Otherwise, within 30 days, I want to price adjust somewhere between 3 and 10%. Because if you lose it here, and we find the perfect home, we will make it up on the other end. Either in the way of a lot of inventory, we can go in and we could negotiate, and negotiate strong. We can also get under contract and close before interest rates go up again, which we do anticipate them going up 4 times this year. here. And we can go under contract here and it removes your contingency, which now gives you a stronger offer. So would you lose 20,000 to save 40? Because you're getting out of this house, you're done, it's over. So let's mentally move on from this home. And let's really focus on where we're going, and can I do that at the same price, or even save myself a little bit of money? Because here's the one thing that we do know. We can't control interest, we can't control other people writing an offer on the same home that you love. We can't control the price of that home today. We can control you going under contract, closing on this home at a price that is okay for you. Because what we don't know here is what they owe. And I never strategize based off of what somebody owes. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of agents will do a net sheet for their sellers, and they'll say, well, let's just focus on what you're gonna net here. You know, you're gonna sell it for 500,000, you owe 100,000, 9% commission, you're gonna walk away from here at 290,000. I don't strategize based on that, because that's not always the truth. That's their checkbook, I'm not always getting realistic numbers from sellers. You know, we pull a preliminary title report and all of a sudden there's a child support lien on there, and there's a tax lien, and shit just gets south fast. So I don't focus on that. A lot of agents do, because they feel that that's a way to preserve their commission. Well, let's smoke and mirror you. Well, let's not focus on how much you're paying me, let's just focus on what you're netting. It's not a bad tactic. The tactic is, I don't get paid, you don't sell your home, you don't buy anything unless a buyer pays for it. So let's just look at our actual numbers. What are we competing with in the market today? You can run that as a strategy, and I think that if we were in the top summer market, and it's in August, and purchase prices, you know, have gone up a little, and, you know, buyers, there's a little competition for the buyers, I'm not saying that a net sheet with the seller wouldn't give you some level of value. I don't do it. It's not as important for me. It might be a listing presentation requirement. Hey, this is estimated what you're gonna walk away with, because some of them are so tight that they just need to know. Like, can I even sell my home? I owe 100,000. It's worth 400. I owe 300. And no, let's say that it's worth 400. They owe 300,000. They've got some tax liabilities. They got to pay 9% to closing costs and commissions. Are they going to walk away with 20% down to put on another house? So sometimes we have to get there to let them know that they can afford to sell. But I really, the strategy today in taking the listing is, let's take the listing, let's price it right, let's make sure we have the activity, because I know as soon as it goes live, your mind shifts, and this is the important part to think about now. This, in the eyes of the seller, is a requirement. I gotta get through this, I gotta get the home on the market. But then their mind's gonna shift to being a buyer. We all do. We're consumer-minded based. We love to shop. I hired you to go sell my home. I'm gonna go find the home that I wanna live in. So we gotta get the homework done. And contrary to popular belief, most of the agents are gonna say, well, let's just go find you the home, because if I find you the home, then you're gonna do whatever it takes to sell. Not in this market. Last summer, absolutely, absolutely. But now we actually have to negotiate. Because the buyer's gonna come in, they're gonna look at the home, they're gonna like, let's see if they price adjust. They're gonna walk away. Buyer's gonna come back 3 or 4 weeks later, they're gonna look at it after I price adjusted, and they're gonna go, I don't know, honey, there's a new home that just hit the market, let's see what happens. Can we control that? No. As a listing agent, and even representing them as the buyer, we can't control that. Can we control a really, really low ball offer? Let's say I price adjust their sale down to 350,000 in 30 days. And we get an offer for 300,000. And we also got an offer for 340,000 from the investor. Can I control that conversation? How? price adjusted to $350. They got an offer for $300 and from a buyer. And they are sitting on a $320K investor. They did take the investor offer. They did. They thought that was too low. But they did reduce in 30 days, they reduced from 400,000 to 350. What's that conversation?
Try to
Know what the
let,
buyers-
go with the investor, they need to go with the investor.
I would let them know what the buyer's offers are, like these are the offers that we're getting right now from actual buyers, what you're getting from the investor is higher. So if it's important that we get you out of this home to
If
get
you're
you
trying to,
into your new one,
if you wanna get into your new home,
get more for your,
is 20K gonna break the deal?
Brandon?
What was the question?
You're killing me.
Oh my
Well, I
God.
saw that you got an offer for 320, and you said they were at 350.
So we were on the market for a month.
Okay,
No activity, showings, nothing. We had 1 to 2 showings, but we had no offers
at 400,
at 400,000.
then you price reduced.
I priced adjusted down to 350.
Okay,
We had been sitting on an offer from an investor at 320. We've been
Yeah.
sitting on it, and they weren't gonna take it. They thought that was way too low. I price adjusted 350 and I get an offer because I came down 50,000. There's a method to this, guys. I came down to 50,000. The buyer decided to come up 50,000.
okay.
Okay, so they wrote me an offer for 300,000.
Rebuttal the
They,
buyer.
they
rebuttal
split the
buyer
difference.
offer?
Okay, what was the buyer's original offer, 250?
No, buyer looked at the property, we were at 400, we reduced by 50,000.
Yeah,
Okay, they basically said, oh, if you came down by 50, we're gonna cut that in half, we're gonna write you an offer for 300.
okay.
Real estate agents commonly, let's split the difference, it's a mental negotiation game. Oh, let's just split the difference. So the buyer's agent, doesn't have to be a strong agent, said, well, if they came down 50,000, let's go ahead and write an offer for 50,000 lower than that. Cause the seller probably reduced 50% of where they can go. That's where they're thinking.
does the buyer's agent know that you already have there is another offer for one that's higher than that, and if they come up higher, then we can have a deal.
Okay, so
Yeah. So
my concern with that is if I disclose to the buyer's agent, hey, we already have an investor offer that's higher than yours, and they represent an MLS buyer, just a normal owner occupant buyer. They just know that we're on the market for 30 days, we're not under contract, we reduced it by 50,000. That's the only thing that they know.
They know that you need an offer.
They know that I need an offer.
And the one, if you do have one, it's one that your client's not happy with, or else you would have been on the contract.
So how do I negotiate, as the listing agent, how do I negotiate that? What are my options?
try to rebuttal the buyer's offer, the
Okay.
original buyer's offer up to 350,
Interesting, why?
because you always rebuttal an offer, first
Okay.
of all, and that'll get them the amount that you actually brought the listing down to.
Here's my question to you, Scott.
Yeah.
Why did you say the buyer's offer and not the investor's offer?
Because the investor's offer is not gonna change, that,
Okay, why?
Cause there's no
because they're
emotion.
investments, they don't care, it's not their property, they're not living in it.
Who's the emotional,
The buyer.
who has the emotional
They
attachment?
don't
The
care.
buyer.
So when somebody so now you're getting somewhere. Took us 20 minutes to get there, but now we're getting somewhere. So when you have an emotional attachment to something, what happens?
You just do whatever, yeah,
Of course you are.
do whatever you want.
I walked in and heard the last 15 seconds of what he was saying, and then he asked me a question. He goes,
So tell me a little bit more about that. So you're going to counter
Counter the buyer.
the MLS buyer,
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, I'd say maybe,
Now you guys are starting to get a little excited.
Maybe play off of that, they obviously, they like the homes they wanna be in, if they did this,
They
we
only
know that
offer
you're just trying.
300 because it's lower, they wanna go for low, they wanna get.
And I would
the
say,
lowest
maybe
number
bring
they
that
can.
up, we know that you only did this because we just dropped it by 50, so we're offering you a fair market price for the home. They
Mhm.
obviously like the home, or else they wouldn't have put an offer in.
Okay.
We're countering back to you, 350,
Okay.
or,
And for those of you who have closed deals, do you think that's gonna be a really strong rebuttal?
countering back at 350?
I don't think 350 would be,
I
would
think
be
you
too
might
high.
receive a counter at 350.
Why do you think that?
Because you're standing firm, so they're just gonna stand firm.
So drop it down and
Maybe
then counter the drop down
counter
to like 340,
340.
and then ask the buyer if they do take it, then just be like, is it really worth 10 grand, is that worth your not being able to buy you the other house that you want?
Okay.
Well, they'll either come up to 350 or they're just gonna walk away.
So let me give you the psychology of the buyer. So the buyer looked at the home twice. First time when we were at 400,000. We reduced it to 350, and all of a sudden, next day we get an offer for 300. Now, as the listing agent, I can look at my records, I can call the buyer's agent, I always get on the phone, always. Hey, fantastic, great, listen, looks like you've been in the property twice, was that with the same buyer? Fantastic, why did they wait so long to write the offer? Oh, because they thought it was overpriced, okay, fantastic. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, what do they rate this property? Oh, they give it a 3.5, okay, fantastic, what would make it a 5? Oh, they don't like the orange cabinets, okay. So if we were able to give them a credit to replace the orange cabinets, would they be willing to pay our market price of 350? No, okay, they still think it's overpriced, all right, so what, you wrote me an offer for 300, why such a disconnect? Oh, because they believe that we still had room to move because we drastically reduced the price by 300, and that was just their initial shot across the bow. They didn't want to come in too strong. Okay, so you're telling me that they're still willing to negotiate. Awesome, so are they gonna be offended if we went ahead and countered this offer? No, can you guarantee that you're gonna give me a double counter or an acceptance? Because I'm willing to go the extra mile, and I'm willing to get my sellers to play the game with you as long as I feel like we're gonna get something out of this. Because my sellers really wanna go and buy another property, and so that's your ace in the hole, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer Agent. Now I'm disclosing material fact, which I may not have said before, because I didn't have to. They really wanna buy another property, so they are motivated to sell this, and they need a certain amount of money in order to buy. Otherwise, it's not worth them selling it.
So they should be not gonna get the house.
So now what I'm telling my buyer agent is, hey,
Buy.
they like your offer, and they think that there's something there, but they need to clear a certain amount in order for them to buy, so be careful how far you push them. Because if it doesn't make financial sense, they're not going to sell. They like the orange cabinets.
And you can't tell them the price they can clear, right?
No.
Just so that everybody knows.
No.
Exactly.
But I do wanna plant the seed that they need to make some money off of this sale in order to buy. Because if they can't buy, they're not gonna sell. So I send them a counter. What do you think that counter should be?
Depends on what the client says.
So the client goes, what do you think it should be? We don't know what the client needs to net. We don't know that.
340. It's a small
10
enough
down.
gap, just enough to show
340,
good faith.
345.
340.
Okay, and where did your analogy come from?
The price is right.
I priced it at market.
Because
showing
they're
them-
probably, I would assume that they would come back around, 335, 340, split it in half. It kinda goes back.
'Cause that's what
cut,
agents do,
cut,
right? They
cut,
split the
cut,
difference.
Cut,
Yeah.
you find out 230 or 330, whatever.
Okay,
Showing the buyer that I'm willing to work with them.
Maybe offer the furniture.
Not price reducing too much.
so I write a counter for 340,000. They write a triple counter, so now we're the third counter, for 310,000.
Oh, that's insulting already.
Why is it insulting?
I don't know, if a seller's like trying to sell for 400, drop it 50. If I was a seller, I wouldn't like that offer.
Can you say take it or leave it? If you say 340, take it
Yeah.
or leave it? Can you say that on the contract?
340, yeah.
You could say highest and best or lowest and best.
Okay,
To me, why even waste the time to write the rest of the sentence?
right, 340.
So, they wrote an offer for 300,000. I countered at 340.
Yeah.
They wrote a triple counter at 310,000. Who insulted who first? If you wanna go based off of personal opinion.
You,
Cause where did the negotiating start?
4.
Did it start at 4?
We'll start at
No, it
340.
started at 350.
350, yes.
Yeah.
We counted.
The buyer came to the
40,000
market, the buyer came to the
$40,000.
market at 350,000.
Yeah.
In their eyes, that's where the list price was.
Mhm.
Right.
So they wrote an offer for 300.
So they're insulting themselves.
So they feel like we
seller's like, well, wait a minute, I just came down 50,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, no, but I'll sell it, so I'll go ahead and give them 10,000. Now, what's
Yeah.
happening here? The tango.
Negotiation.
And this is what you guys have to understand. As a listing agent, we don't get the right to negotiate until offer.
Mhm.
We have zero control until offer. Once we receive an offer, we're leading. Once the offer is sent out, we're being led. So the psychology is 350,000. They wrote an offer for $300,000. Okay, nobody has insulted anybody. We countered at 340. Okay, now buyer could think, oh, I'm insulted, fine. Buyer counters at 310. Seller can think, oh, I'm insulted, doesn't matter. Will the seller accept or counter?
Depends on what they wanna walk away with.
I mean, come on, guys, we are faced with this conversation constantly.
Well, you have to go back to pleasure and pain again and find
Well,
out
I
why.
can't answer that question, cause I don't know how much money does the seller have to walk away with?
Yeah.
Does the
You're
seller
right.
need to sell the home before they buy a new one?
Yes,
They do it this-
yes, and they found 2 homes that they're ready to write an offer
But
on.
we need, what's the exact number?
And I don't know how much money
Yeah,
they
if we
need,
don't know how
I
much
don't
you
know,
need, then
there's a lot of things I don't know.
It's how it feels, if they feel like they're getting a good deal, it's, you have to manage their
It
expectations.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does, if these are emotional decisions.
So you go back to pleasure and pain, you ask them, do you wanna get out of this house and pay?
For
all
us
the
as an
mortgage?
agent, it doesn't
It
matter
doesn't
what their
matter.
payoff is, and that's why I'm not giving you that number. It doesn't
Don't
matter to
like
us.
if they wanna get out of the house, but they don't wanna be stupid and lose too much money either.
So let me give you the scenario.
I know, but these guys that you're talking about, I don't know if this is what you're
So
talking
how
about.
bad do they wanna get out of the house?
I know.
Because they still have the
Yeah,
investor offer for
the
320.
motivation.
I know one property with orange cabinets.
I'm pulling from, I'm pulling from experience,
And
guys.
and listen, I'm talking about those
Patrick.
clients that are pretty bottom line oriented.
And I'm not pulling from that client. I'm pulling from different things,
Okay.
because this is about the art of negotiating and
Uh-huh.
making sure that we fiduciarily protect our sellers, because we always have to understand what our sellers want. Do our sellers want to sell the home for the most amount of money?
Of course, yeah.
I challenge them. I think in the beginning, that was the perception they gave us.
But then they just wanna get out of the
But
house.
then they
that's the thing.
reduced by
Yeah.
$50,000.
So they just,
That's
yeah,
why.
they just wanna get out so they can buy the house that they really.
Yeah, so you're always going to be faced with this, where you think you know what's going on with your seller. You think you know what's going on with your buyer, and all of a sudden there's a lane change. Our job is not to get emotionally attached to what they need to do and why. Our job and the exercise right now is to negotiate.
So is the job, so then at this
So
point.
meet, have them
would
meet,
you-
right?
Well, I
Is that what you wanna do?
So would you just
Not
tell
meet
them,
like that.
so, hey, this is your counter offer, the buyer gave you back, is offering 310 now. You still have the investment offer on the table for 320.
So they don't even know about the investor offer
They don't.
yet. Up until 310, I did not disclose that there was another offer.
So should now you just disclose to them that, hey, there is another offer, if you don't like this one, there is one at 320, so if you're really serious and you wanna get into this other house,
Okay,
do you want
so
to?
now we actually will open this up. So the listing agent receives the offer for 310,000.
Yep.
They go to the seller and they say, listen, you came down to 340, they're up to 310. I did not disclose multiple offers in the beginning because the investor is stuck in his own ways. He's 320, take it or leave it. And he's willing to sit at that price, until you go under contract and sell your home. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, one of the strategies that we could do right now is we could present multiple offers where we now ask the buyer and the investor for their highest and best.
Hmm.
By doing that, what we do is we actually put them into the corner. And we would say, hey, this is our lowest and best, you give us your highest and best, and if we can't make a deal out of that, there's a chance we're gonna walk away. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I just checked, and both of the properties that you wanna buy are still on the market. However, one of the buyer's agents said that they've had a lot of increased activity because they reduced the purchase price from $500,000 to $440,000, $490,000.
They reduced it by 10?
They reduced it by $10,000. And they've had a lot of activity since they did that 2 days ago.
So the seller's more motivated because they might see if the loss
competition on both sides.
Right.
And now we are 40 days in from the date that we listed your house.
So you're paying another mortgage.
No, they didn't buy yet, so.
No,
No,
you
you're
bring up,
No, your
there's a
seller is
reason
still
why
paying
I'm bringing these
mortgage.
things up, guys.
Paying another
They
mortgage.
still have to
Putting
pay the
on-
mortgage on their first property.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you're sitting at the table with the seller and you say, listen, they came up to 310. One of the two properties that you like, that you gave them both 5 out of 5, the resale was brought down to 490,000. And they said that they've had increased activity in the last 2 days. I have not disclosed to the buyer that we have an investor. You didn't want to take the investor property before because you said it was too low. Well, now you're at 340,000. If we were to go under contract on the buy side without even negotiating yet, I believe that the $10,000 actually is a credit on your side. So now hypothetically, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're now down to $330,000.
You can, and you can still always negotiate the buy. It's not like you're just
I
paying
haven't
500K.
negotiated the buy side
Yeah,
yet,
I'm just paying
but
the
right
buy.
now, you're down to $330,000. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if I was able to get the buyer to come in above where the investor's at, can we lock this thing up? We can set contingencies in place where if you don't go under contract and sell this home, you're out of the buy side. But I think that now we have something that's in front of us where you actually have an interested buyer that's been proving themselves. They've only been playing the same game you've been playing. They've actually mirrored every move that you've made. So would you want them to come in at $330,000? Here's what I would encourage you to do. Do a quadruple counter at $330,000, letting them know that you have multiple offers, and this would be your lowest and best. And you would allow them to renegotiate when appraisal came back. And by doing that and going under contract, it's gonna give me the strength to go and and negotiate with the buyer, and hopefully give you that difference in savings on the buy side. Now, what just happened? First of all, what do you think the seller would do? Do you think he'd do it?
Yeah.
Would the investor in any type of way ever come up?
No, let's assume the investor, he says, and that's the way investors are, he's like, I'm all in, this is my price, I've already looked at the house, go ahead.
I think, yeah.
It's like a
Especially because
win-win.
they already have the 10K off on the other house they're looking at.
They're gonna feel
their
they're
one
saving
house.
money, they still get the house that they want, for
They're
cheaper
out
than
of-
I originally thought it was gonna be.
Their goal is met, they're out of their house, they can buy a new house.
Okay. So what did we learn from that exercise?
Countering.
Okay, yeah, I did a deal where I counted 13 times and canceled contract 3, and we still got the home closed. So, before, the last 36 months, this was an agent, and this is how far you are apart. The listing agent would put the property on the market, the buyer agent would get multiple, the buyer agent would write an offer, the seller would get multiple offers, and the only thing that we had to do was just volley the ball across the net. Goal, we're done, we're closed. Now, we actually have to be real estate agents, and we actually have to negotiate. And so what I wanted you to understand today is keep your emotion outside the lines, keep your buyer, your seller, whoever your client's emotions inside the lines, constantly present facts, set expectations, and understand that what they tell you is probably not the truth. Doesn't mean they're lying to you, it's probably not the truth inside. Because there is a massive disconnect still between a seller and a buyer. The buyers are getting all this information from CNN and the market, and the sellers are getting it all from their neighbors. And the two of them aren't watching the same channel. So you're that common denominator. Now I also will say that as a listing agent, you're going to have more education experience guiding than the buyer's agent, in general. So you might need to educate the buyer's agent. Because to succeed in the future of real estate, at least for the next 18 months, you are going to be a negotiator. That is where your strengths lie. So whatever you've done for the last 2 years, whatever you've heard for the last 2 years, throw it out the window. It's not going to apply. Now you need to be a real estate agent, okay? So, I didn't give you guys the purchase, the net, because it was irrelevant. Because then you would have put your own opinion into it. And I didn't want you guys to say, well, you're still netting this, they're still netting that. No, that's not the point. The point is for you to negotiate. If I gave you their net, if I said, oh, they need to what, they only owe $200,000, and they wanted to put $100,000 down on their purchase, what did that give them to clear, to play with? $50,000. And they put the $50,000 on the table, because they actually wanted out of the home into a new home more than they wanted to net the $50,000. So in this scenario, we didn't have to get there. The buyer, the seller who was buying, was more savvy than you were in the room. Okay? Did we learn something from that?
Yes.
Good. Because that's going to be your game. That's going to be your game. And it can be reversed. The buyer, they could be the buyer, and they say, hey, I want to go out and look at a home. Oh, I want to write an offer on this home. Oh, by the way, I need to sell. Or they could be a seller that says, I need to list and sell my home, and if you can do that, I might hire you to buy. And you have to ask the right questions, because they might be presenting an objection that says, I'm a seller, I'm a seller, I'm a seller. No, you're not. You're a seller in front of you right now because I'm a listing appointment. That everything that you're breathing, everything that's coming out of your family's mouth is about, let's go move. You're a buyer, and I just have to overcome the objection. Okay? Good stuff. Let's go into sales meeting. Let's get everybody out of here. Patty, are you on? Hey.
Get on.
All right, she's on. She's listening. She's taking notes. All right, so social media video. Who posted a social media video in the last 7 days from the team? Who posted a social media video?
You did, Fernanda.
I did last week.
Oh.
She did last week, yeah, with the little flames at the bottom of her thing and all that. So who did an open house?
We did.
So 2 of you did an open house and you didn't post a social media
Yeah,
video.
because I thought about that. We posted a video before. We should have just done it anyway. Okay.
Actually, Patricia posted a video for me. She came over and hung out with me and did a video for me.
That doesn't count.
I know it doesn't count.
It counts for her.
So Fernanda, you did a video 2 weeks ago when you did the open house.
Last week,
Okay,
yeah.
fine. It was before last Monday,
Yes.
because we talked about it.
Mhm.
So what were the results of you posting a video?
So I got people, contact me and ask me if I wanna do open house for them.
So you got a lender that got a hold of you and said,
Yes,
hey, we'd
yeah.
love to do an open house for you.
Yes.
We're gonna bring our own stuff,
Yeah.
our own signs and our
Yeah.
own tables and flags and all that
Yes.
stuff. We're gonna host the open house with you.
Mhm.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And what else did you get from you posting the video?
I got somebody from Leonard to like ask me if I wanna do open house for them.
And you got a buyer. You got somebody who said, I'm interested in buying in Las Vegas. It might have been your sphere of influence.
Yes.
But somebody who said, hey, Fernanda, by doing one video.
Mhm.
Imagine if you did a video every single time you did an open house.
Yeah,
What would have happened?
I know.
Yeah.
I will.
Interesting.
I
People-
thought like they did, I thought like when I did the open house with Shepherd, so that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah, and I did one video. Okay, we'll just do
So
videos again.
your buyers and sellers are not gonna tell you they're a buyer and a seller until they believe that they're ready to be a buyer and seller.
Yeah.
However, they want to live vicariously through you.
Right.
And they wanna they wanna see your success, they wanna appreciate that. And they will refer people to you without you even telling them. But it's a systematic approach and you have to constantly do it. Constantly, constantly, constantly. Okay?
Okay.
It's a delayed gratification. It's no different from a billboard. You post the billboard, you post the billboard's up, you drive down the 15 every single week, you see the same billboards, you don't even pay attention. A friend of yours comes into town and says, hey, I wanna go see a magic show.
And then the thing,
And
oh,
you
it's on
say,
billboard.
who are the magicians?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the next day you're on your way to work and you see
Oh,
Dirk
yeah.
Arthur at, Westgate.
Same with Chris Angel.
Yeah, Chris Angel, yeah. So it's a call to action.
Ah.
Your videos are constantly there, they're constantly there. You're not gonna get anything on a daily basis. But when you get something, it's gonna be strong. So I would encourage you all to post a video. 411, so most of you had your 411s with me over the last 2 weeks, so I am appreciative of that. Hey, get off the phone. Make me take it from you.
She's not even listening to you.
Look, she smiled.
Don't worry, we'll wait.
Oh my God, leadership is setting bad example.
I'm trying to get Connor into the meeting.
We're not trying.
Do or do not, there is no try.
Okay, Connor. Yes. Yes.
Hey, Patty.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I
If
have,
you get- so Patty is our database manager. She's also our number 2, and so she manages the lead system, she manages the database, she makes sure that the agents get into the system and the leads get converted and all that stuff. She also runs our client care department. She used to be here in Vegas, she used to be in our office. Now she is virtual and she's in Guatemala for the foreseeable future. You would think that she was still here. She knows everything that happens in our office, even when we try to hide stuff from her.
oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah, it's crazy. It is. It's crazy. It's eerie how
Cameras in here.
I'll get a phone call on a Friday afternoon and she's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you're not even here. How do you know this? She's got eyes. She's got spies in the
Ears.
office. So Patty, who do we still have on the team that needs to have a 411 with Craig? Do we know off the top of our head?
Yes, we need to have Fernando.
Okay.
I have
Josephine is done, Diane,
She know you have
Ian is done,
Probably what?
Connor is done,
Okay.
John is done, we need Arsenio,
Okay.
and,
So Fernanda and Arsenio had 411s
in the beginning.
last Wednesday and Thursday.
okay,
So we need them. I think here's what I think needs to happen when the 411's done and they give the 411 to Josephine to scan, they need to send you a copy of it.
Or I scan it, I send you a copy.
And I did my 4-1 with Brandon too.
And then we can put on that day when they had their 411 with me.
I've had 411s with like 5 agents.
Okay, but I've never received a 411 one yet after your meeting, so send me your
For them to
411.
scan, yeah.
For me to scan and I'll put it in a folder just so that.
I also have them come to you.
Okay. So that's really important because I want to track that activity and I want to overcome their objections when it comes to closings and conversions and all that stuff, right away.
I'll send a note.
For those of you who are shadowing the team, a 411 is a weekly accountability. So when an agent joins the team, they do what's called a 135, or it could be called a GPS. We have a lot of acronyms at Keller Williams. So a 135, it's a 1 goal, 3 priorities, and the 5 strategies to hit each priority. Basically a business plan, and it's down and dirty. So we do a 135. Let's say you get an agent who says, I want to close 30 deals. 30 closed units in 2019, what are the 3 priorities? Prospecting my sphere of influence. Prospecting FISBOs, because they think they're gonna take on the FISBOs. And then some sort of growth plan. We get real hyper focused on the strategies, and then we put that into what's called a 411. It's 4 weeks, 1 month, annual goal. Okay? So it's very laser focused.
Yes.
We can get into what are the activities that we do every day, such that by doing that, we know if we won the day, we lost the day. The success in real estate is about doing what is systematic every single day, and we say it's the boring work. Like it's getting on the phone and setting an appointment. It's not sexy, it's boring, it's horrible, nobody wants to do it. And if you can get really clear on that and get it out of the way, your real estate career takes off. If you prospect because you have to prospect and you get a deal and then you're like, I got a deal, I'm not prospecting, you're gonna be that cyclical real estate agent that rises and falls with the market. Prospect every day, 4 hours a day on our team, 4 hours a day, systematically, set 1 appointment, 5 appointments a week, you're holding between 2 and 3 based on your conversion rate. That will yield you $150,000 to $200,000 a year. That's it. And are you committed to prospecting or are you committed to the results of the appointment? And that's where the relationship is. All right, so 411s, for those of you on the team who had a 411 with me, you're gonna have your week 2, week 3, week 4 with Brandon and your team captain. Brandon, you are up. Money generation production contest.
Yeah, so, first thing I wanna talk about was Sharon and Connor, since they're both not here right now.
So you'll talk on their behalf?
Yep, so I got a message from Sharon stating that her team last week had 5 appointments set and they held 3.
So, okay, so Sharon's team, 5 sets, 3 helps.
Yep.
And then the next trick question is,
0 contracts,
okay, 0 contracts.
I believe. Or wait, no, or no, yeah, that's Sharon's team, yeah, 0. Right?
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, probations don't count until we actually have the.
Yep, till we have the actual contract, yep.
Yep.
And then Connor's team, Josephine. you said
5,
you
4,
had
1.
5 set, 4 held, 1 contract.
5 set, 4 held, 1 contract.
Yep.
So my question to you, Brandon,
And then mine is 4 held, 4 set, 2 held, and then I got some VBAs, I didn't get any, under
so 4
contract.
set,
4 set, 2 held.
2 held, and 0 contracted?
Yeah.
All right, so my question to you, Brandon, and ultimately to the team, we had 14 set appointments. 9 of them were held. So that's better than a 50%
It's good
appointment
conversion.
set to held.
Mhm.
And then we had 1 contract. What's the conversation?
Closing.
Okay? So talk to me about that.
Are people asking for the business, and depending on what the appointments are, I don't know, I don't know the ratio of how many we're listing and how many were buyer appointments.
Okay.
I'm
And
going
does
to-
it really matter? For,
For all intents and purposes of closing, yes, it does matter, because I feel that probably 80% of those are buyer appointments, maybe even more than that.
okay?
And I don't think anyone on the team, on the top of my mind, has a hard time closing a buyer per se.
Okay.
I think the challenge lies within getting the buyer approved and then getting the buyer back into the office, and then going out looking at homes, because I don't think that's happening.
So let's assume these are 80% buyers.
Yep.
So eight of the appointments were buyer appointments. Oh, no, there was 14 appointments. So 9 of these were buyer appointments. Were they pre-approved buyers with approval letter in hand?
No, definitely not. I don't think one of them was.
Okay. So is it safe to say that these are buyers who are starting down the path of home ownership, and they're acting like a buyer, and they're acting like a buyer in a buyer's market, and so they're just gonna start looking? And does the team have the objection handler,
Just set the expectation that they're not in the market yet.
well, and to get them in the market?
Yeah. Well, I'm
So-
saying get them to the mindset where they understand they're not in the market yet.
Yeah.
To spark motivation to get them. in the
Yeah.
market.
Hey, listen, I'm so excited that you've taken the first step to home ownership. This is awesome. In addition to your tax benefits and all these other blah, 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 you're probably going to beat the interest rates going up. And because it is a slow market right now and there's not a lot of competition out there, if you found something, you could probably get a good deal if you act fast. Set the expectation, increase their motivation to perform now. So it sounds like that's, so I celebrate the team for setting the appointments. I think that is up. I celebrate that we have a higher appointment held ratio than we've had over the holidays. And I think that the conversation and the education is close, close, close. So they have 2 options. They can learn how to do it, or they can take Alejandra with them.
Alejandro.
Is it Alejandra? Alexandra. Alexandra? Alexandra. And I'm horrible with names, and I thought I had it.
You
Or they
had
could
it
take
in Spanish.
Alexandra with them.
I was like Alejandro.
Yeah. She'll close them. There's no doubt about that. So I'm joking, but that's the conversation. Okay? So with the team owners, the team leaders,
Yep.
great. Are you setting it every day? Keep the foot on the gas. Let's set an appointment a day, appointment a day, appointment a day, appointment a day.
And are you asking for the business directly 5 times or more?
Yeah.
for an appointment?
Yeah.
Like actually asking. And I'm guilty of that too. I need to do that more. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All Alright, so that's that. Talk to me about this, production contest.
So this week Connor's team won the contest. I still do not know how many points Sharon's team has. I asked her, she hasn't gotten back to me yet. 12 points in total.
And Connor has?
22.
What is the point system?
Does
Uh,
he have-
renters
I
contract?
did this last week. No one wrote it down.
Contract, that's pretty much what put us over.
So, 1 point for if you do if you can show with a timer that you did 4 hours of lead gen, it's 1 point. 3 points for an appointment held, 10 points for a contract.
Okay.
So Connor got a contract, and he got it signed, right? Who's on Connor's team?
I am.
Okay, so Connor got it signed.
Yep.
And it goes live when?
7.
I said that.
Okay,
Oh, you did.
so 2 weeks from now, and it's a valid contract. It's valid as of last week, so contract is in full force. Nobody else can go and take that listing.
Right.
And yet, the expectation was cast that, hey, we're just gonna get all this stuff done and you'll go live in 2 weeks. Now, there's some things that need to be done. They need to have a notarized, document that says it's gonna stay off the market. I sent an email to Patty and
You
you
did?
earlier.
Okay.
And he still got the contract signed,
Yes.
so give him credit for that. So that would be an example of closing.
Yep. So they won the competition this week. So my little hangup is do we wait until we get Mojo to
No.
start doing the weekly?
No.
Okay.
You give them whatever we have right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so for this week, Connor's team, by right, has access to Vulcan and the dialers that are on Vulcan in the mornings.
Okay.
What
Once
are
we-
the hours?
From just before,
From the
anytime
lead
before
gen.
lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, so 9:30 to 11:30.
So without Connor's closing, teams would have tied,
5:30.
from what I'm gathering.
And
Yeah, how many points did you guys have? 12?
12.
Yeah.
So what would have happened in a tie?
That's a good question.
I don't believe in ties.
Yeah.
So you just don't.
Okay, so no one wins.
I don't believe in
The old
ties.
system was that you looked at the appointment set. and
That's
then-
true. Well, no, that's true though, because Craig's right, because we
Yeah.
think back to the sales competition every month.
What's the
If
most
there's a
important
tie-
thing?
There's a
What
tie,
is
no one wins.
Held and getting the listing.
So, contract.
Contract.
So if he didn't get a contract, what would be the second most important thing?
The sets. I mean, the
The
helds.
helds.
The helds,
So
yeah.
then we would go to helds.
Yeah.
Who had the most helds?
I still, since we have more than just contracts and health, there's other things at stake
Time
there.
and everything.
I think that, if it's a tie, there's no one. No one gets rights, it's just whoever's first come first served. In my opinion, I don't think there should be a tie.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Okay, anything else from you, Brandon?
Yeah, so the main thing I wanted to talk about, lead generation or money generation, whatever you wanna call it. I personally, I decided that my best time to lead gen for me is going to be 4 to 6 p.m. So in the mornings, if I'm not lead genning at a high level, it's because my time is set aside for the afternoons and I'm kind of just bouncing around, helping anybody that needs help in the mornings. And if nobody's needing help, I'm getting on the phones as well. I just wanna make sure that everybody's not spending time, their very important time in the mornings on things that do not need to be done in the mornings. They can wait until later. Lead gen is what's gonna pay you guys. It's not checking your email. None of that other stuff is going to pay you. So lead gen is always the most important thing. It should always be number one, always. If you have a client, especially, even if you're in contract and a deal, a lot of times, I'd say 99% of the time, something that you think is urgent that needs to get done immediately can wait a couple of hours.
Correct.
Block that time out for yourselves. Do it for you. Don't do it for me. Do it for you.
So let me add 2 things to that. If everybody on the team got really purposeful on their lead gen, and they started having the results, what do you think is going to happen in 90 days with your business?
We're gonna get busy.
Okay.
Skyrocket, not increase.
And is it safe to say that you go into like it becomes chaos? Because now you got 10 deals, all of your buyers and sellers all want to talk to you because you didn't cast the vision that you're on a team and that there are other people who can do their job better than you can. So everybody's calling you and you got 10 buyers. What happens to your lead gen?
Goes down.
It goes down, or it becomes non-existent because, oh my God, I got this deal and I gotta take care of this problem. Blah, 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 blah. I'm the only one that can do this. They're my client. Is your client loyal to you?
No.
What's your client loyal to?
Himself.
Yeah.
What you do, your job.
Yeah.
Your job. They're loyal to your job description.
To the values that you possess, that you cast to them, the expectations that you know, we're gonna do this and this and this.
If they
So,
don't get what they want from you. they'll-
what's the one thing you can do such that by doing that, you will always maintain and grow your business?
Lead gen.
Lock your lead gen.
Yeah, so is it really a problem that if you lead gen so much and you created so much business and you had so many clients, that their objection is, you don't contact me, you don't respond to me when I want you to? Is that really a problem?
No, it's a good problem to have.
Cause is it fixable?
Yes.
And would you make the same mistake again next time? Most likely not.
No.
So we would just coach you through that. Hey, set the expectation, let them know you're a team-centric environment, and there are other people out there that do things better than you do. So here's who my closing manager is. Here's who my transaction coordinator is. Here's who my co-listing agent is. And cast that vision. Because when it comes to a listing, you go out, you take the listing, you come back. The listing, the closing manager takes over. They're calling, scheduling photography and signs in the ground and open houses. They're having the conversations with the seller. The only time they're not is if you're the one that said, don't call my seller, I'm gonna do all of this. Okay, well then I better see your lead gen activity. Because when the market really takes off, I want you to have 20 deals. So if we can't overcome the little onesie twosies right now, oh, I got an appointment, and that's what you go and do, then when you have 5 appointments for the week, you're not gonna be successful. You and I are going to have a tenuous relationship at that point because I see you exiting. That's the truth. Because that's what every agent does. They work, they get the deal, they focus on the deal, nice little lead, nice little thing, and they miss every opportunity around them. It happens to every single agent, time and time again.
Yeah, there's a 90-day turnaround from activities. So what you're doing today is feeding you 90 days from now. So if you stop feeding yourself 90 days from now and you start focusing on something else, even though you might have something in your hand right now, the minute it's gone, you're not going to have anything come that 90 days.
Okay.
So you need to always have your foot on the gas. Always.
So if we have that problem in our business right now, at your 411, be honest and open about that and let us
Oh, I
help you
am.
through that.
I am for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
What else do you have, Brandon?
That's really it. I just want to stress the lead gen thing as much as possible. So-
And look what's happened. Like, we came out of the holidays and I'm like, guys, Christmas is over. Let's get back to the grind here. And look at what's happening with your business. I mean, make no mistake, your business has taken off, every single one of you guys. So keep that pressure on yourself. I know it sucks, but you know what? What sucks more is not having that life that you got into real estate for in the first part.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, Arsenio, you're up.
Majority of you guys are all new, so, today, who's gonna stay past 1? Or who's gonna stay past the meeting? One.
Can we have a little lunch break?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
After this
you're-
is your lunch break.
Yeah, after this is your lunch break, and then usually, I'm here till 4, so however long you guys.
So just come back at
Yeah.
1. Okay, yeah. I'll be-
Okay, and then.
1:30.
1:30, yeah.
Yep,
Is
1:30,
there
because
any-
we'll break at 12:30 for an hour.
Can you?
No.
Are we having someone come in today?
Okay.
So it's on check, oh, you didn't see a check.
Yeah, you stay?
What was that?
Okay, well, then I got the majority, so stay.
Okay.
I'll teach you guys, we'll go over scripts again, do a little bit more practice. We'll also teach you guys calendar, that way Patty can, get you on that. And then I'm also gonna look at Craig's calendar, see when I can have you guys do a one-on-one with us. Other than that, yeah, we're gonna make some phone calls.
So, that's it. For you?
Yeah.
Patty, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. Please get in touch with every lead that you have on your pipeline. We've been receiving new leads, and some of you are not contacting them within 5 minutes. Please do, and do not forget about the notes. Remember, if you guys have
Notes,
a
she
hot
said.
lead, get in touch with that lead once a week. That's really important right now, and on your dashboard. Do not forget everything about transactions to send it to tc@teamtc.com. Everything else, please, calendars or any other stuff to vic@teamtc.com. If you guys need anything, please call me, text me, and I'll be happy to assist you.
Okay, so let's dive into leads real quick. So a lead into your database would be a new or a reassignment. Okay, let's get really clear, write that down. A lead into your database would be a brand new lead, and it would be categorized as new, or it would be a lead that got assigned to you. Now, what do we do with our news?
Call them in 5
You
minutes.
called them right away.
Okay, and what happens to their status?
Change.
Unqualified or you had
Or
a
you
nurture
nurture,
watch.
yeah.
At what point?
When you find
If
out
you
after
call
you've
them-
spoken to
If
them.
you call them, they don't answer, it's unqualified.
Okay,
If you call them and then you have a conversation with them, depending on how the conversation goes, you're gonna put them in
Nurture,
unqualified, archive, nurture, watch,
Fair
hot,
enough.
whatever they fall into.
so brand new lead hits your database.
Mhm.
How many times do you call, text, and email for how many days?
7,
8 by 8.
12 by 12.
Exactly. 3 contacts a day for 12 days. Call, text, and email. Now, for those of you who don't have a system in place, you can use the 10 days of pain.
Mhm.
Okay, follow that. Download it. It's in the public drive. Call, text, and email 3 times a day for 12 days. Status shows what? That a lead converts at what point in contact?
And
It's like, I don't know the exact figure, but after 5 minutes, it decreases like 90% or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and it's roughly the 9th contact. The 9th time that you reached out to them, they will finally pick up the phone and have a conversation with you.
And once again, call, text, and email, all
Yep.
3 things.
Okay, so then 12 days go by, you never convert the lead. They don't ever pick up the phone. What do you do with them at that point?
On them.
Put them back to archiving.
Exactly. Put the notes, put them into archiving. We call it archive, but the name is archiving. We had, because we have to give him a name, so it's archiving.
We're gonna have a character here.
What CRM are you guys using?
We're using Brevity.
Brevity?
Real estate-based CRM.
Okay.
We will be switching over to Command, which is the Keller Williams system that launches in probably March or April.
Okay.
We'll run them simultaneously for a while until one of them outperforms the other.
Okay.
I got a question for Patty.
Okay, hold on. So now we know what we do when we get a new lead or a reassignment. What do you do with your database that should have no more than 75 people in that database, not including your past clients and sphere of influence? What are you doing?
You're calling them and find out their motivation and when they're gonna buy.
When are you calling them?
You're calling them periodically, at least.
Okay, so here's what I'm not hearing.
Okay.
That you guys are running the system.
You put your notes in so that you know when you're calling them.
So I want
Good pass,
everybody
good pass.
on the laws of pipeline. Everybody. So 75 in their database, I don't want one more than 75, and I want all of those on the laws of the pipeline. Highest opportunity to convert. Okay? So let's help them, have a one-on-one with them, Patty, and get everybody in their dashboard, which is gonna be your database, on the laws of the pipeline. And one of the rules of the laws of the pipeline is that everybody is on a property profile or a market report.
Mhm.
Everyone. I would say that if they don't have them on a market report and a property profile by next Monday, that means they don't want the lead. And then what I would like to have happen is systematically, I'd like you to go in once a month. Maybe pick an agent, you know, based on their name. Put them in every week so you don't have to go through all the agents at one time. And then once a month, go and look at their dashboard and see how many leads they have and help them deselect some of these that shouldn't be in their dashboard so that they always get new leads. Because we've had a massive influx of leads in the last 2 weeks. I can't even keep up with them, and she's still trying to get them out of my database. But there's been like 40 leads in the
Really?
last 2 weeks. So as those leads get reassigned, and some of them are converting as we're calling them. as those leads are reassigned, I wanna make sure that the agents don't have a missed opportunity. Okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was planning to, get in touch with every agent on the team,
Okay?
for 15 minutes, once a week.
Okay.
Just for all of the leads. I think that's the highest opportunity that we have as a team. I don't know if you agree with that.
Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, well.
The money is in the database. Right now, for the foreseeable future, we've already been nurturing these people. They've already been the looky-loos for months. They're ready to go. So we just wanna make sure that we are conversing with them and that we're seeing the buying signals. And I also wanna get everybody in the database to 20% website views in the last 48 hours. I think we've slacked on that. Oh, you're smiling.
That was my, at all.
So how do we get them? How do we get them there? Okay? What were you gonna say,
My
Brian?
turn?
Yep.
Hey Patty, I got a question for you really quickly.
Yes.
Okay, I want you to do me a favor. Do you have Rivety pulled up? You do. Can you go to my database really quickly and check how many leads I have? And I want you to tell me how many leads you see.
So we're not gonna do that now.
No, it's really quick. It's
We're
really
not gonna
quick.
do that now. Sorry.
It's already
Let's
12:22.
get back to,
Okay, point of the
Database.
story. Point of the story. When I reassign a lead to Archivy, it stays in my database and it stays in the number. So it should say that I have over 100 leads. I do not have over 100 leads. I have like 70 and I want that fixed.
No, you have 78 leads.
Okay, well, mine says I have over 100.
I have 78. I just pull out everything, because I'm making my numbers right now. If you, so far you have 78.
Okay.
so here's what I hear Brandon say. Sounds like there's an issue with Brevity. So when you schedule Brevity to do another training with us, make sure you send an email ahead of time to her, letting her know that that's a problem that you have. Go to the rest of the agents as well ahead of time and say, we're having a Brevity training on this day at this time. Get me your issues with Brevity ahead of time so we can coach through that. Okay?
Cool.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Moving on. So,
Josephine.
Patty, do you have anything else to add?
Josephine.
Patty, do you have anything else to add?
No.
All right, Josephine.
Okay, really quick, because don't have enough time. I need your real estate, certificate, your license, business license information. Send that to me as soon as possible. I need to know if you're a member or a non-member. I know some of your status have changed.
Okay, so
Okay.
back up.
Yeah.
Real estate license certificate. What is that?
The thing,
I don't know.
the thing that you get, the real estate license, the physical license
So the
itself.
license doesn't come to us.
Goes
Well, you
goes
have
to the
one,
broker.
you had one put on my desk. Was it meant to go to the broker?
That is probably their little wallet size.
Yes, you had a
Okay.
wallet size.
So in clarity,
Okay,
you don't need real estate license certificates.
so I need the number and expiration date.
You can pull that on your own, just by
Where?
going into the real estate division website and looking
Okay.
up their individual licenses.
Oh, yeah, but wouldn't it be just faster if you give them to me? I waste time.
I'm talking about real estate agents.
Yeah, I know. Come on, real estate agents, do your job.
Why are you looking at me?
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's your job, Sparky.
No, Sparky. They came
No,
on board.
No, so here,
They came on
seriously,
board.
here's what would happen.
Faster and easier, just look
Here's
at
what
it.
would happen.
Yeah.
You don't need the agent to provide you with their real estate license certificate.
Okay, all right.
You need to get with Denise at the front desk and say, hey, it's 2019, January. Can I get a copy of everybody's real estate license?
Yeah,
Which is
okay.
going to have their issue date, their license number, and their expiration date.
Okay.
Put a copy of it in their folder,
Mhm.
and then create an Excel file that says, hey, your license expires on this,
Yes.
about 6 months, maybe 90 days, depending on who the agent is.
And that was my goal.
I'm gonna start telling you that you need to take CE credits or post licensing, all that
Mhm.
stuff.
Okay.
'Cause
I can
that's
get
the
that.
value that
I
we
can
can
do
provide.
that, and I've already started a grid.
Did you
Cool.
write that down?
But you don't need their license, because most agents don't have access to their license,
Yeah.
okay?
Mhm.
You don't need the license.
Okay, so I will go to the front desk and get that information from Denise.
Awesome.
Add on there if they've taken post, like what, cause what agents.
She will know that when she gets the licenses from Denise,
Got it.
and then she'll reach out to the agents. Post is a 1-year requirement only.
Yeah.
And this is also with the business license too, I'll get that all from Denise.
So business license,
Mhm.
go to Denise and find out who has a business license sitting with the market center,
Okay.
state and city.
Okay, and then moving forward with the new agents, I'll collect this the same time she collects.
Yeah,
That's it.
or you would have a deficiency on the onboarding,
Mhm.
and you would set an expectation with the new agent, because some of it's financial.
Mhm.
Hey, what our goal would be to get this in 30 days, 90 days, whatever.
Right, okay, and I have that all set up.
Okay.
Okay,
Next.
open houses, don't forget to sign up, Ms. Keita and Patrick will open houses. So I already sent the link via email, so make sure you do it. And I'm gonna be out of the office February 8th to the 15th. So you need to, whatever request you have in, turn it in. One thing that's not in here, I am protecting my prospecting time, 9:30 to 12:30. Do not come to me after 9:30 asking for things.
Cool.
9:30 to 12:30. You
I
come
love that.
between 8 and 9, you can ask me stuff. If you ask me for stuff at 9 o'clock, it will be pushed back to the evening,
There you go.
when I'm free.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
Wow, you got very passionate.
Oh,
there
no,
for a
because
second.
today was like not good. After I had said it last week.
It's, listen, it's a major mind shift, guys.
No, I mean, it's
Nobody
reality.
wants
I'm an
to do
agent too.
prospecting, nobody.
Yeah.
We get it. So let's help each other.
Mhm.
Let's help each other.
Help each other.
Because nobody wants to do it. And you know what? We're all guilty. Every single person in this room on the team is guilty of it. Hey,
Right.
real quick, I know you're prospecting, but we
Yeah.
all do it. I do it. I walk in and I'm like, oh, shit.
Right.
I get it.
Remember, I'm an agent first. This is secondary.
Yep.
My job is the agent.
Good. So can we all agree that we're gonna support each other?
Yes.
Regardless if we get a little passionate with each other or not, it's for the right reasons?
Yep.
Good. So, moving on, let's talk about these events that are happening.
Yes, Vision and Vino, don't forget Thursday, the 31st, between 3 and 6. Bring your-
So, what is it?
We're making vision boards and we're putting up our scripts on our vision boards. It's a 3-sided science board to give us inspiration. We do a lot of talking in our prospecting time. It's gonna help us block all that distraction.
So they're basically gonna be your typical science boards, that you would, put your volcano and stuff behind, and they open up. And on the inside, it's gonna be a combination of your vision board, as
Mhm.
well as your script board.
Correct.
So if you're scripting, FISBOs, it's gonna have your FISBOs and your objection handlers, however you design it.
Yes.
So, it is Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
the 31st,
Mm-hmm.
from 3 to 6,
Correct.
here.
Correct.
We've reserved the room,
I reserve the room.
and then what do people need to bring?
Just their scripts and pictures or quotes, whatever they need to
Okay.
put on there. I will supply the craft materials, including glue and all that kind of stuff,
Okay,
glitter, whatever.
okay,
And then you're gonna provide the wine.
okay, and who's bringing the boards?
I'm bringing, it's part of the whole craft.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's a part.
and then I've got the wine.
Mhm.
Wasn't that the day that we also said we were gonna do cheese and crackers or something along that
I
lines?
can bring cheese and crackers, yeah.
Cheese and crackers, or was it potluck?
Oh, you know what, good point, we did say potluck. Potluck,
So everybody needs to bring a dish.
yeah.
So
It
we
doesn't
need to
have
be clear about this, because
Yeah.
last week, I don't know if you were at the team meeting last
No,
week?
it's not.
So, I said it's a potluck, cause that's what I heard, and the rest of the team was like, no, it's cheese and
No,
crackers.
because you originally said cheese and crackers
Yes,
and
but
wine.
somebody, after we came out of the meeting the week before, everybody said, let's just do a potluck.
Yeah, but we
Okay.
never agreed, so.
Yeah, we never agreed.
So is it a
So we never
potluck?
agreed to anything personally, so.
Okay, so what is it?
I don't have time to cook extra this
Okay,
week.
so potluck.
For me.
I mean, not potluck, cheese and wine, does anybody
So bring snacks.
bring snacks?
Let's leave it at that.
Bring your own snacks.
Just bring snacks, whatever it is,
Yeah.
Bring snacks,
shareable
share.
foods. Okay, fair
Okay.
enough. Now, who is that open to?
It's just us,
So, just us?
as in the team.
Okay, so it's not open to the market center.
Oh, no.
Okay, is it open to agents that have been shadowing, or prospect who have been shadowing the team?
Well, I guess that's a
Yes.
conversation with Arsenio, I mean.
I
These
mean,
people-
by the 31st, I
Yes.
think I would be able to have that breakfast down.
No, I need to know, like, tomorrow, so we
She
can make
needs to
big
know
boards.
now.
Oh.
31st
So,
is this
I'm
Thursday.
expecting everybody on this list up
My
here
answer
to
is
show up.
yes.
Anything, anybody beyond that, I would need to know by tomorrow.
So basically, if they're shadowing the team,
Yes.
or they're onboarding and they are invited, they will be personally invited by you.
Got it?
Right.
Okay,
So
fair
for
enough.
example, Mercedes, if she wanted to go, because she's been with us for a little bit,
Okay.
you tell me.
Alright, bring pictures, scripts, and all of the like, great, craft items, okay, I will provide the wine. Moving on, culture and cannabis, talk about that one.
Okay, so we sent out a sheet, for everyone to sign up. We'll be setting up a table for downtown at First Friday, so we'll be gathering leads.
So,
Okay.
Meeting people.
we split it up like the timing, right?
I'm gonna be there the whole time, so you guys can stay there the whole
Yeah,
time,
I
like
can
8 to 12, or split up the time when you guys wanna come.
Maybe you guys can do like 15-minute increments at the table.
It's a 4-hour event.
I already,
It's a 4-hour
the
event.
sign-up sheet was sent out with the link, you just go on there, it's already blocked off. So you just sign up for whatever time, in there. That's
Okay.
all.
Can I have a show of hands of who's all coming?
It was just you, me, and Sharon.
That's it? That's the only people
No, I
coming?
say
So sign
maybe because I wanna make sure if the
Yeah.
time it's,
Okay, so
My
I'll
time,
resend the
yeah.
link then.
Yeah, I'm going, but I'm not an agent, so I was just gonna go to try to pull people.
Oh, that's good, that's
Intendable
helpful.
people.
Still sign up.
So then, so that brings me to my next question. Do you have a clear plan of what needs to happen and then what your results should be? Because it all has to be measured. I wanna see a return on investment.
So yes, we're gonna have people come to the table. If they come to the table, they're gonna sign a little card to give us their contact information.
Okay.
And then they're gonna put it in a bowl, and then we're gonna do a drawing, maybe the day after, and then announce who the winner is, put it on Facebook and call the person.
And what do they win?
That's what we're
Okay.
gonna talk about.
And what is, and what
A
is
pound
the?
of weed.
and-
they'll be
what-
happy with that.
And what is your message for the event? What's the message? You just gonna all stand there?
No.
Hi, we sell real estate. You wanna buy or sell,
No,
or
I
know
mean,
anybody
I
who
think
does? Like, what's the
is what's
message?
on well, we created a flyer,
Okay,
and your home's value might be higher than you think. So we're
okay.
gonna encourage people to sell.
Get it higher?
Yeah, higher. I mean, we could do it, this is attracting sellers. We
Okay.
can do the reverse and list all our, remember that the one that we did with all the listings?
Is your home as high as you are? I'm just giving you some marketing.
And home ownership is at an all-time
No, but I mean, we're gonna
high.
have buyer conversations, people are gonna come up to.
So this right now is attracting
Please make
sellers,
like 20
right? This is
weeks.
targeting sellers.
So-
The other side could attract
So
the
here's what
buyers.
I would still need.
Okay.
I want you ladies to have and Arsenio, unless anybody else is going, I want you to be a united front. I want you to go in with a clear vision. This is the conversation today. This is what we're selling. We're not selling homes.
Mhm.
We are casting a vision that, hey, you could be a buyer or you could be a seller in this market. Let me tell you and show you why.
Mhm.
And then how does that tie to the event? First Fridays, culture and cannabis over here, arts over here. How does that tie?
You can win a gallon bag of weed.
Okay, so I want you to be very clear in that vision, whatever that is. I know we're real estate agents. I get it. We're not selling real estate at the event. You will fail miserably.
Well, it's the prize.
It's not.
It's not?
You
Well,
need to
what
tie
is
it to
It's
the event.
surprise, Craig.
Not really, no.
You do,
No, no.
you do, you have to
Okay.
tie it to the event. You don't necessarily have to sell, hey,
Oh,
how does your
dye
home relate
bag?
to cannabis? No, but you have to tie the vision to the event. So your real estate agents, are they there thinking about buying and selling a home?
No, they're not.
They're not.
smoking.
Let's just, let's put it on the board. They're not there thinking about
But
buying
they're
and
not there
selling a home.
smoking either, I mean, they are, but they're not really
But
allowed
they're buying,
to.
is there paraphernalia there? They're
I
probably
get
buying
it. Well,
paraphernalia.
so what is the message?
You can think of also like,
There's,
a lot of real estate agents are gonna neglect if they find out you're a weed smoker. We're comfortable with you being a weed smoker.
Potheads are people too.
You have to have a message.
okay, well,
Okay.
right here, it's our message. Homeownership equals lives changed, that's our message.
Okay, so fine, I'm not in
Okay.
disagreement. So then, what is the material and what's the vision of that message? So lives
Buy
changed
a
through
house
home
and
ownership,
buy it.
great. So what's the message that day at the event? You're going
We
to
can
culture
change your
and
life.
and cannabis, which is part of First Fridays.
Well,
Fund of
they've
Alice is a
made it
great
down
place to
there and
live.
they hosted during First Fridays,
And there
yes.
must be success. There
Yeah,
must be.
because they've grown their venue.
So what's the
Oh.
message?
You could probably, this is.
Let's get, we're out of time, but I wanna get really serious on
About
this.
as
No, I'm being
poll
serious.
listings, poll listings around dispensaries, 5-mile radius. That could be something. It's similar, it relates.
So I don't think it's about smoking the marijuana, I think that's what we agree on.
Yeah.
This is about a liberal lifestyle, or it's about change, or it's about, people opening up their mind.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I don't have the exact answer, that's why I'm just saying,
Okay.
what is the message? And that message can change, like, you're gonna go in there on this week and you're gonna say, this is our message. We're real estate agents, we wanna help people do X, Y, and Z.
Want to help change lives.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you might realize, holy shit, we are so far off the mark, let's adjust it, and that's okay.
Okay.
But if you go in and you just say, here's my table, and we're real estate agents, and do you wanna buy or sell a home?
No,
You're
that's not
not
the way I
going to
would approach
win the event.
No, but can't we offer information? Cause like when I was,
Yes,
okay, cause when I was
absolutely.
there with the attorney, we had like, I don't know what the hell you call it off the top of my head, I just spaced it, but we had like all this stuff that we offered, like
get it.
free consultation, that
get
kind of
that.
stuff. So can't we offer like,
But that's the services we provide.
yeah, it's just.
What is the message that we're delivering? You have to connect with them. And I'm looking for that glue.
We gotta
That's
think about this,
okay.
yeah.
You have to normalize it.
We
But
love
I like the
all
whole
that.
like, I mean, when we approach people,
So
we
I,
tell them
so
to
I've,
change their
I've
mind.
casted
Oh my God.
the vision.
Yes.
Go get back together, because if we walk in with listings and we walk in with, you know, home inspectors and all that stuff, we're disconnected. It
Sure.
doesn't mean you're not gonna get the guy that goes, well, I've been thinking. You're not winning the event. We're
Okay.
not gonna see an ROI.
Okay.
We gotta connect with them at their level and then cast the vision. Oh, well, you know, if you could, would you? If you could sell your home and get the most amount of money, would you consider it?
So you can buy more weed.
So, well, we have to be careful,
Mix it up,
selling
yeah.
real estate, because we have a license and it is still federally illegal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother class, we're not gonna
Yeah.
talk about it today.
No.
But as real estate agents, we can still be federally indicted
To be
because
there?
because it's still illegal at the federal level, and we hold federal licenses, even though they're state licensees.
Yes.
So don't
Yes.
talk about weed.
If we were to do a lease for somebody who gets a dispensary, and we do the lease, we can be indicted. Because it's still federally illegal.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not gonna, that's not today, trust me, you guys aren't gonna get in any trouble,
We're not gonna
I
go
got your
into
backs, but
expensive.
there's a whole layer of things that we can't do as a real estate agent that could potentially harm our
You
license.
didn't disclose with me.
Question.
I don't know about.
Are we
it.
allowed to post our flyer on Facebook at all, letting people
Oh,
know we're
absolutely, yes,
gonna be
it's
down
an
there?
event.
Okay,
We're not selling pot, and we're not selling homes to people who wanna grow pot.
Well, that-
yes.
That doesn't say that.
That's not an
We're
issue.
just selling to consumers.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, so I'm glad we talked about
Hold on,
that.
I guess to be clear, what I'm asking is, are we allowed to promote that Team Tiffy is gonna be down
Yes.
at First Friday for Culture
Absolutely.
and Cannabis?
Yes.
Come and visit us.
Yes,
And then put
Okay.
our flyer.
But now
Yes.
I need to find out, cause I can't remember if there was a door fee to get in, if people can come down, but either way, if we have like our agents, can we wear our I Love Real Estate shirts?
absolutely,
And then we could be on the outside chatting with people?
of course you can.
Okay,
Nothing there changes.
that's why I don't understand, why don't we have more team support, guys?
I have gone.
That's why I'm
People
just
can't
curious to
really
know.
do it.
I have to work, and that's my thing.
Maybe they don't understand the vision.
Okay,
No,
It's
I'm
a
just saying.
prospecting vision.
I'm
That's-
going,
that's
but
why
I
yeah.
cannot stay for the 4 hours.
No,
that's
no,
what
of
I'm
course,
saying.
cause you gotta work.
I got a couple ideas about how to maybe draw some
Great.
people in.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
All right, okay, proposal by Deanna.
Okay,
Oh, spit it out.
so, just as real quick, so I have a proposal, I used to do a lot of demos in grocery stores, and I was considering going to the Smiths and the other stores that I have relationships with and see if we can set up a table and talk about real estate. Obviously, we need to get the message first, and then have people come up and sign up if they're interested in getting information and so on and so forth about it, real estate.
So we're thinking
Just
about,
another way to prospect and bring clients in.
the best time would be second and fourth Fridays of each month.
Okay, so my question would be, are you selling cookies?
No, we're not selling
We're not selling
cookies.
Good, because that's who you're gonna compete with right now.
Oh, yeah, it's Girl Scouts. bigger.
Well, no, cause I was thinking that like, we can get Smith's,
It's like,
You know how hard
No,
it
we're
is?
gonna have liquor. We're gonna combine it with her
I
liquor.
could get her so wound up so fast.
We're gonna do liquor. She's gonna sit by the liquor table.
So,
no,
I don't think anybody's against any opportunity.
okay,
Clarity.
I'll get
So
it
if we're
clear.
gonna be in front of a supermarket, A,
Yeah.
can we, B, what's the message, what's the vision,
Mhm.
and who are we competing with, and what's the result that we wanna get?
Right,
Okay,
Hardest.
same thing, exactly.
7-year-old girl.
maybe we'll give out a shopping cart.
Okay.
Okay, and then this,
So, let's wrap this up in 2 minutes.
yes.
Yeah.
So CTE numbers, who's putting their prospecting numbers on CTE now? Good,
There's no lunch
you're all in it, so you
Yeah.
all received a link?
No, I didn't receive a link, I have my link from last.
Okay, I sent it to you, you got a new link?
Okay.
Josephine or Patty or Arsenio,
And
can
it's
we
also
send it to you?
here. It's also here.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Read the calendars, so this is for your color coordination of your calendars. It's on here every week, I don't think we have an issue there. It says who to send your calendar to by when. These are the upcoming events. I think the only thing that has anything to do with us is the Vision and Vino.
And campers.
I do have a question with the coming up events. Isn't February the, reunion?
Family reunion, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the 16th through the 19th.
Okay,
Okay.
so when is the next real talk?
So when is Real Talk, guys? That's why I didn't respond to you the other day.
I guess we have to ask this.
When is Real Talk?
I don't know.
So
Third
Dialing for Dollars is,
Third Thursday?
Dialing for Dollars is the second
Ooh,
Thursday of the month.
Which
okay.
falls into family reunion, doesn't it?
Yeah, but no one's going to family reunion then, so it doesn't matter.
No, it falls when I'm out of town.
And when did we have Real Talk last month?
On the last,
We
third
had on
Thursday?
the last weekend because of the fact that
Third
we
Thursday.
had to move it from the game.
Was it the third
I thought it was the third Thursday.
third Tuesday?
Okay, maybe, yeah, third Tuesday.
Third
Fourth.
Tuesday is the real talk.
You might have had it on the 4th because of December,
Okay.
just because of the holiday.
So I have to talk to the front desk and make sure these are on the calendar.
So it should be the second Thursday and the third Tuesday. Second Thursday for Dialing for Dollars, third Tuesday for Real Talk.
Yeah.
Is what it should be.
Okay,
And we should have it, both of those on the calendar for the whole year. Okay?
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, derogatory remarks? So we're gonna take a lunch break. I'll be back at the office at 1:30. I'm happy to sit down and have a powwow, meet with anybody. Otherwise, just get with Arsenio.
where are you going to lunch?
Thank you guys so much for coming in.
We're going to lunch.
Hope you learned some things today. I don't know, somewhere
Oh, some
quick,
cheese.
fast,
Oh, no, we
and
have
local.
food, we have food. Quick, fast, and cheap, we have food.
Thank you. Patty. Sorry,
Give
John.
me this, there's no.
Grab your phone.
Thank you, bye.
With him after lunch. Like,
Today? No,
Yes.
Saturday.
right, like for another.
Send me an email.
Okay.
Tell me when you're available, and I'll post it.
I'll be back at 1:30. Yeah.
Okay, well, I feel like I have to be available either.
Arsenio, I have your, script here.
Oh, okay, well then just say I need the office by 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect,
well,
that would be great, thank you.
And then I'll put it on there. Just put it, I like the email because it's a reminder.
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever think like maybe do like kind of like pulling it out of the culture, like fast facts about like what people can and can't do with their homes when it comes to weed? Since you guys know a lot about real estate and like you guys are selling.
Good thought.
Because my thought, that's what I was telling Brandon was like, why not do it based off of facts? Like, did you know that you can do this, or did you know that you are not allowed to do this?
Yes.
When it comes to your home, that way it ties into the culture that they. I still don't know what the price should be just yet, but I was thinking that would probably be a good way just to get people to the booth, because when people see something and if it's colorful enough and it's drawing their attention,
Yes.
they're like, oh, I didn't know that, and it might just get them to stop just long enough for someone to catch them. And if you get them stopped long enough to catch them, you can get them to sign in while they're signing, you can explain certain things to them, and all you need is that contact information to get your leads after that. So if you can get them to just sign a little card, put it in with something that kind of draws them.
Good idea.
Because I don't smoke weed, but I don't also know that, I didn't know that, I knew it was gonna be illegal, but that
That's,
might be.
yeah, thank you, I appreciate that.
Oh, that's my fault.
There you go.
Just a thought.
No, that's a
Just
good
thought.
thought, that's actually
That
a
might help.
good, no, that is, thank you, and I'm gonna go bring that up to her. Thank you.